What's going on, everyone? My name is Nicholas Merton here at DataDash, and today is July 27th of 2019. Well, folks, I hope y'all are having a fantastic day wherever you are, and in today's video, I want to talk about some very interesting growing trends in the crypto space that I've been focusing on as Bitcoin has dumped down towards around 93, 9400 over the last few hours. I want to dispel a lot of the FUD around that, and again, point out what's been going on in the sense of the short term, but along with that, what we're watching for in the sense of our target range. We have been keeping a sharp eye out for 8500, and also some interesting shifts between Bitcoin and altcoin dominance. So we've got lots of things to discuss, guys. Let's go ahead and jump right into it right after our quick sponsor. Our sponsor for today's video is CoinDeal.com. CoinDeal.com is one of the largest crypto to fiat exchanges in Europe, and they're giving away over 90% of all their tokens to users who register on their platform. Whereas most projects only give away 5 to 7%, this is a massive giveaway for early adopters of the platform. It doesn't cost anything to register an account, and you can sell or hold onto the tokens after it launches. Check out the link in the description for more info. Alrighty, everyone, so let's go ahead and start by taking a look at the market as always. I hope you guys, by the way, are having a great Saturday or Sunday if you might be watching this a little bit later. As we can see here, most altcoins at the moment are down. As we can see, most players are obviously in the red, with actually a decent amount of altcoins still keeping up above Bitcoin, but for the vast majority, we're still seeing altcoins not be able to keep up with the momentum of Bitcoin. Again, building onto my point, guys, that even though I wouldn't discount all altcoins that haven't kept up with Bitcoin in this day, I think that's a very close-minded thing to do. The fact of the matter is that most altcoins will continue to be outpaced by Bitcoin. I think even in an altcoin cycle. And, you know, even if there are some players that are able to increase their Bitcoin comparative, say, over a week or two, doesn't mean that they're going to be strong players going into the broader multi-month cycle that we're looking for. So, again, we want to find those key winners that have done well. One of the things I'm really excited about and happy about is that outside of Japan content, I don't know what this is. I saw an article on it. I have to read into it. I don't know, really. It depends on the exchanges it's on, whether or not it's real or not in the sense of its price action. But I'm really happy to see basic attention token up here because I actually averaged in a little bit extra last night. I always want to share with you guys when I do these things. I averaged in around I think the low 2600 Satoshi range, and even as Bitcoin depleted, and yes, it did drop in its USD value, I actually used some of the remaining Bitcoin that I had available for altcoins, and it was cool. It's actually still up in that case compared to Bitcoin, so I'm actually quite excited and happy about that. I still think this is a range where basic attention token is quite small, or small in its valuation, because as I talked about in the altcoin video, the really cool thing about it is that there is a limited supply of tokens, and each of those tokens is almost a kind of portion of the attention economy within the Brave browser. So I won't don't worry, guys, I'm not going to shill it to you, but I think it's a really cool project. I think you guys should look into it. The browser's really nice. I got a few friends hooked up with it the other night. Now, in the sense of the market capitalization here, again, we're continuing to go through our corrective wave. As I mentioned, I think we are going for, I guess in the sense of the overall market cap, a third final low. On Bitcoin, it's going to be kind of our fourth low that we've kind of established on the chart, and I'll demonstrate that in just a moment when we take a look at it. In the sense of market dominance, again, we're continuing to see general trend over the last 2 to 3 weeks where Bitcoin dominance is losing ground, and we're seeing altcoins start to take over. And I'm going to build on that in just a little bit. But I want to talk in the hourly here about what happened. Actually, sorry, no, we're going to break it down to the 5-minute here so we can get some more detailed price action. So guys, I know a lot of you were concerned when we breached from around 10,000 down to 94.50 in this case, or around anywhere from 9,400, 9,500, because it was a pretty big swing in Bitcoin, $500 swing in this case. Now, a lot of you out there might be kind of laughing your heads off when I said that it was a big swing, because as much as it is a decent percentage swing, if it, swing, oh, that's interesting, a 500%, $500 dip, or in the case of it's technically reading that we had 4% dip, but the thing is we'd had a bolster up earlier in the sense of price, which led for a more dramatic drop. Fact of the matter is that it can seem as a pretty big dip here for Bitcoin. And I want to spend some time to try to dispel any kind of FUD when things like this happen. So there's a few things you have to denominate. First off, price had already gone up previously. That's why you have such a severe drop here. This was not someone buying for the long term. And this is something that has happened in markets time and time again. I think many of you are already aware of this, but I just want to reassure you that it is still going to go on in this market. We are not in the full-scale bull market just yet, in the sense of breaking past the previous highs and soaring off for the next rally to 50K, 60K, 100K, whatever your target is, it doesn't matter. We're not in that full-scale cycle. We're in the exiting of the accumulation phase, which we've seen historically. To give you kind of a time comparative, this would be like Bitcoin when it was going, around the $600 to $700 range before it had retested up to 1,100, its previous cycle high back in the end of 2013. Now, to build on the main point here, guys, all you really have to do to understand what this is take a look at the volume. Now, it's not going to be exact every time, but it is roughly very similar in this case as you take a look across the board here. We can see here that on Bitfinex, for example, this is one of the many exchanges. We'll run through a few. You can see that there was a near 1,000 Bitcoin buy. About 900 Bitcoin were purchased here in about a 5-minute span that propped up price. And I was actually watching this the other night as I was talking to some of my friends about a $400 boost up in Bitcoin's price. And then slow deterioration with out of nowhere, somewhat of the similar volume coming down to crash the price lower. A little bit extra here, which pushed us to this lower range from our previous support range up here at 97.50. Let's check the other exchanges. For example, if we take a look at Coinbase, very similar in this case in the sense of volume nature. Prop up of about 1.5 thousand Bitcoin, and then a depletion of the same amount in a 5-minute candle. So, you guys can look through most exchanges here. I looked across Bitfinex and Coinbase here. You can take a look at Bitstamp. Very similar case scenario. If you kind of average in these 5 or 10 minutes worth of price action here with this candle, you get about the same amount. So what's the kind of key lesson here? It's that this is not much volume. There isn't much volume in the broad market, and it's very easy to cause slippage in the order book. Now, why would investors do this? Now, I've talked about it many times, but I just want to reiterate it because I know there's some new people coming to the channel. And then also, I think we just have to remind ourselves sometimes of how markets really function. You guys know I'm a macro trader, so I always try to get an in-depth understanding and try to understand what's going on. The fact of the matter is, this isn't anything huge. It's a few people who are coordinating these prop-ups in the market and dumps in the market. And they're actually not really competing against you. In fact, they're actually trying to compete against one another because really, anyone can do this. If you have enough Bitcoin, what you do is you manipulate the spot market and then you trade on margin on exchanges like BitMEX. So if I have enough Bitcoin to push Bitcoin's price down $500, like we saw here, maybe into $600 if you want to count it towards the low. If I have enough weight to dump Bitcoin like that, I might incur some slippage in the process. I'm going to for example, sell a lot of my Bitcoin through this price range, clearing through the order book. But what I'm actually trying to do is I have another position on BitMEX that's trading on leverage, 10x leverage, 20x leverage, meaning I'm trading with 20 times the capital. So even though I might incur a cost trying to push the price down, I might be shorting Bitcoin on margin and be making a fortune. Now, here's the thing though. Have you ever noticed that sometimes when we get these kind of BART charts, we very commonly will have a switch in the trend very quickly, or sometimes as soon as a few minutes after, where basically we'll get a prop up in the market and then price will deplete right back down. That's exactly what happens. It's the fact that a lot of these whales are competing against one another. That's why a lot of them don't take the risk 24/7 to simply try and do this. They're dealing with very large positions, and they're coordinating behind the scenes. It's a select few parties who do this kind of stuff. I don't know who they are, but guys, it's exactly what you're seeing in the price. So again, it happens sometimes. The fact of the matter is that we shouldn't be worried about these kind of short-term moves. As you guys know, if you're veterans of Bitcoin, this is a roller coaster ride. We're in the wild, wild west of crypto. What you should be focused on, if you really are bullish on this space long-term or for this next cycle, is to prepare for the next longer-term cycle. Whales cannot simply manipulate the longer-term cycle. They can do things in the short term. The longer-term cycles are driven by either a wave of retail or institutional liquidity, more people getting into the cryptocurrency space, more utility being found in the space, whether it be through store value and transfer value or through all kinds of other use cases through the altcoin space. It doesn't matter. What we're focusing on here is looking for optimal periods to average in. At least that's what I'm looking for right now. And what I've talked about is that anything within this range, I'll extend out the line here as time has progressed. Anything that comes into this range here, I'm eager to buy. I'm not going to be nitpicky and try to get at, exactly 8,000 or 8,250. No, I'm going to start averaging it if I have cash positions around 8,500 and starting to average in where I've seen the dips start to find support in this case. And I think with the fact that the candles look the way they do right now, this looks like a clear continued correction. And I think by the end of the day, we're going to have some more volume here, which is going to signify that this is going to continue going down a little bit. I'm still waiting for a cash position to arrive to my Coinbase account. We can thank the banks for taking so long to do that, and also I would assume Coinbase as well. But the fact of the matter is that I'm hoping to average in yet again down here on these dips. I look for anything around 30 to 40% corrections, guys. Don't get caught in the noise. Please don't. You know, if your focus is to ride out this next wave to one of those high figures I listed earlier from 60 to 100K, 9,000 or 8,000, it's really not that much of a difference. This is just the range I'm much more eager to buy in, but I'll happily average in here if we start to rebound today. We'll have to see. But I don't think we're going to get it. I think we've got another 2 or 3 days of correction if this really starts to pick up down into this range. All right, now I want to talk about something that's actually very positive, as I hinted to, with not only basic attention token, but a broader range of altcoins. And that is that altcoins right now are holding quite well in the sense of dominance. So we only have to look here at Bitcoin dominance to see just how interesting it is. I mean, with these kind of 5 to really, actually, if we take the broader dip in this case, 5 to 7% dips here for Bitcoin, we're not seeing altcoins drop as hard as they used to when Bitcoin has these corrections. Bitcoin isn't gaining the kind of dominance that it used to gain. So we can see here over the last really 2 weeks, since the mid part of July, we've been seeing Bitcoin dominance continuing to lose ground. Now, it not only broke through, it's very, I wouldn't say parabolic, but very fast-paced support line in this case to lead towards higher levels for market dominance. We've broken below the 21-day moving average. Again, I don't usually do too many indicators, guys, but I will say the 21-day is a very common indicator for crypto markets and pretty much any market that's a momentum market. So to see here that it's broken such a solid momentum indicator is signaling that, you know, we're probably on the verge of seeing like a 1 or 2% drop in this case of Bitcoin dominance over the next few days. And that's why I've started to expose myself to altcoin positions, guys. I know that we're probably not at the point of the altcoin cycle. As I've told you guys, I think for my analysis, as we take a look at history, the 2 major ones happened when we revisited Bitcoin's previous high, which would mean in this case, we're probably going to see it at 20,000 Bitcoin. And then also when we start to peak out in the overall broader Bitcoin cycle, which would be anywhere from 60 to 100K. But the fact of the matter is right now I feel there's a decent amount of opportunity because we've topped out here at a very similar range. We could pass it up later, but it seems like we had some serious resistance here. Not to mention as well, as Bitcoin is corrected, altcoins have been able to hold quite strong. We've been seeing altcoin charts. If you look, take a look through Binance, take a look through CoinMarketCal, wherever you're looking, you can start to see that altcoins have been doing quite well. And as I mentioned with the positions that I've recently gotten into, they've been some of the better performers. I'm really excited about what BAT's doing, but there's a lot of other ones out there that have done well that I haven't talked about or haven't really focused on in a while. And I'll be fair, some of them are some of those ones that I talked about that have corrected 95 to 98% that I said that I'm not too interested in. So to those of you who have been long on it and have actually seen return this week, whether it be compared to Bitcoin or USD, I say congrats to that. But the fact of the matter is on the focus here is that we are seeing, I think, a shift in trend, at least one that's notable in this case, when we start to have a decent set of percentage decline in Bitcoin dominance. I would really like to see us break below the 50-day, which is coming up here, but we'll have to see if that can be the case. We've got the 200-day down here as well that we're watching. If it breaks the 200-day eventually, that's, I think, when we get the altcoin cycle. So, I mean, that's what we saw, for example, over here in December, broke through all the moving averages and just started plummeting. I don't know if we're going to get it that strong this time. And it's not going to be in a variety of a basket of players. It's going to be, actually, I would say it's not going to be in a lot of players. It's going to be in a basket of a very select few cryptocurrencies, in my opinion. Now, one thing as well, just to talk about kind of the dip in price. Some people said that this was caused by the DOJ coming out and basically suing an old Bitcoin exchange, BTCE. This is basically one of the old legacy exchanges that got shut down back a few years ago and was tied in the sense of supposedly laundering funds from the Mt. Gox hack. I don't really think this was it. I mean, this exchange has been out of operation for a while, guys. This has been kind of well known. I mean, the lawsuit in this case doesn't really impact the crypto space. This was a sketchy exchange. But I think more than anything, guys, again, to speak towards the rationale here and not get caught up in the FUD, this is just simply the common game of crypto, guys. I know so many of you are solid hodlers, and I admire you guys for it because you've learned that the best way to play this market is when you find a discount, when you find a good opportunity to buy Bitcoin for the next cycle, you add. You don't try to trade the markets. I know I'm very thankful that a lot of you guys have watched my channel. Really want to have a heart-to-heart moment with you guys here. I appreciate that so many of you watched my trading tip videos. You guys, I think, really just helped this channel become what it has. And I know I don't actively trade. I know my TA isn't crazy. And sometimes I don't even use moving averages or indicators. I'm sometimes, just simply naked trading. I'm looking at price, support, and resistance. But I've learned that in this cycle, we are only getting a few like these over the next few years of our life. And, until we find medicine that can make us live to 1,000 years old, we need to respect the select few opportunities we're going to get in our life. We're not going to get many cycles like this in crypto, and we're also not going to get just many general macro cycles like this in any market that really allow us to possibly multiply our returns, our investments time and time again to crazy returns. And I'm not saying that's going to be the case. Bitcoin could go to zero tomorrow just like anything else. But I think that this is one of the few opportunities we have. And I know the vast majority of people, statistically speaking, will benefit from not excessively trading. They will probably benefit most from trading the broader cycles. So buying after 80% corrections, as some of you possibly did back here around 3,000 or 4,000. And then continuing to average in on corrections on the longer term cycles. Bitcoin has shown us this, and we can take a look at the Bitcoin Liquid Index, probably one of the best indicators to get a broader sense picture of how Bitcoin's moved. We see it moves in these very, I wouldn't say predictable, but very similar styles in this case over time. And, I wouldn't be trying to trade what happens on a daily time frame. I wouldn't get shooken out of the market because of things like that as well. Because do you really think at the end of the day, I don't think you guys think this, but I just want to make a good little kind of point to take a step back here. Is a $500 shakeout going to stop this? 10 years have told us it isn't, and that this is only the beginning of something much bigger. So I'm excited for it, guys. I'm preparing for this next cycle. The more this keeps dipping, I'm going to keep averaging in. I'm going to start building my position for the broader cycle that I'm betting on. For me, it's absolutely worth the potential risk in this market. But you guys got to determine that for yourself. We'll see. Now, as one little final laughing point here on this great Saturday, the FBI, I don't know, guys, I don't know where they're getting this suspicion from, is suspecting that the tea company, Long Island Tea, who switched its name to Long Blockchain, I think was it the Long Blockchain, or I can't remember what the exact name was. Long Island Tea Corp had switched their name to Long Blockchain. Actually, I kind of find it funny. I just realized the name is like almost kind of like a trading name. It's like, yeah, I'm going long blockchain, right? Like, when you're long on something, you're bullish on something. I just realized that. But you know what? I'm real eager to try their tea now, because if they're catching on to doing something so simple that eventually propped up its stock price. Hey man, Bill Gates and so many other entrepreneurs talk about taking shortcuts. It's the way to success. I'm just kidding. Anyways, they basically have suspected, crazy I know, that the tea company had pivoted its name to Long Island Blockchain in order to prop up its stock price and benefit for insider traders. Who would have guessed? It's as if a tea company isn't likely to pivot into the tech sector, and more specifically on blockchain. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I know we got some awesome detectives out there. You guys tell me what you think. Do you think this was a solid pivot into the emerging blockchain sector, or do you believe that this was just to prop up their crappy stock that was, I think, originally worth, it was under $5 million, and then shortly thereafter pumped to nearly $70 million. And yeah, I think that's a fair use of the word pump. I usually don't like using that, but yeah, more than a 10x, that's pretty good. Anyways, guys, crazy stuff. Crazy time to be alive. Again, I think this happened a while ago, but they're finally, I think that the astute members at the FBI are finally starting to figure that out. No, I'm just kidding. Respect all those in the FBI and those who serve our country and everything. That being said, guys, thought I'd kick off the end of the video with a little funny story like that. I hope you guys are having a great weekend wherever you are. Again, we've got some interesting times going on here in crypto. Don't fret about the market. Try to keep a mild pace with everything. Again, we're in this for the long haul. At least I know I am. But until the next video, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday. Enjoy. If you're where it's warm right now, enjoy the weather. Spend some time with family and friends. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay tuned.